No, say it isn't so, Bill Maher. He is being credibly accused by Rose McGowan. I love saying credibly accused because it means absolutely nothing. But Rose McGowan accuses Bill Maher of whispering crude comment to her about his body in the 1990s. And yes, I know it's a family-friendly show I do here, but I'm going to read you what she said. It's kind of bad. It'll get me demonetized. So I'll do my best to keep it family-friendly. But this comes after Bill Maher said that the left should basically just ignore Tara Reade. Oh, yes, like you ignored Brett Kavanaugh's accusers and propped them up. Nah, sorry, Bill. No double standards here. These are the rules you asked for. You don't get to demand these things and then backpedal when it negatively impacts you. I think Bill Maher tends to be an all right guy. He gets some things right, but boy, does he get some things wrong. And when he does, he gets them very wrong. Well, let's get started. First with the story about Rose McGowan. Parents, cover your children's ears. Rose McGowan is calling out creepy Bill Maher. Fox News says, actress and Me Too leader Rose McGowan has accused comedian Bill Maher of whispering a crude comment about his body when she appeared in his show Politically Incorrect in the late 1990s. On Twitter, McGowan addressed Maher directly, telling the host she remembered him allegedly talking about how big his manliness is, if you know what I mean. Quote, I was on your show Politically Incorrect in the late 90s. As the show returned from a commercial break, you leaned over to me and whispered in my ear, quote, my parents didn't give me a good face, but they did give me a huge... Oh, yeah. McGowan tweeted on Saturday, I could feel your hot breath on my ear as an image of both your hideous face and alleged big manhood flashed in my mind. Both turned my stomach. I've always wondered what you say and do to the girls that aren't famous. She added, Bill, you got the face you deserved. HBO did not immediately respond to Fox News' request for comment. Maher hasn't responded via Twitter either. Maher hosted the talk show Politically Incorrect on Comedy Central before it moved to ABC, airing between 1993 and 2002. He now hosts Real Time with Bill Maher on HBO. McGowan's accusation came after an episode of Maher's show in which he discussed Tara Reade, the former U.S. Senate staffer who has accused Joe Biden. What the F, Maher said on Friday's Real Time. We're letting this person change the subject from Donald Trump, lethal incompetent, to Joe Biden, sex monster. I am sorry, Mr. Bill Maher. Donald Trump is bad, but he is not that bad. But I will give you this one. But I will also take it back a little bit. Okay, here's what I'll say, right? Look, it's true. The narrative is being pushed onto Joe Biden over this accusation and away from Trump, who has also been accused several times. The point? It's because it's what you all wanted. I know I've said it a lot, but no, listen. Trump supporters could care less. I mean, naturally, you'll see a lot of conservatives taking advantage of the accusations against Joe Biden, but they could really care less. Much like they could really care less about the accusations against Donald Trump. The issue is progressives pushed this story out. Don't you understand? It was progressives. Yes, it's your fault. Maybe you should wake up and stop aligning yourself with these weirdos on the left who eat their own. Now, I think it's fair to point out Joe Biden is not their own, but still, you get what you reap what you've sown, right? Well, Rose McGowan says Bill Maher is a creepy dude, so I'm not surprised he's saying we shouldn't pay attention to this. Well, let's read the story from the New York Post. John Levine writes, Bill Maher is not interested in Tara Reade. The comedian and HBO host criticized the media for focusing on her and said the Democratic Party should not allow itself to be sucked into letting Reade's allegations that Biden assaulted her in 93 hurt his presidential campaign. Now, where were you during the Kavanaugh situation, Mr. Maher? Believing everything doesn't make you noble. It makes you gullible. Yes, thank you, Maher said, attacking one of the central premises of the Me Too movement. And it leaves us with a world where Republicans don't care about this stuff. Yes. So it's just a unilateral weapon that is used only against Democrats. Trump rides the bus with Billy Bush. We throw Al Franken under it. Yes. Thank you. I completely agree. So perhaps if you had said this during the Brett Kavanaugh stuff, like, stop, you don't realize what you're doing. The Republicans don't care. And well, look, I think, you know what? A lot of Democrats used this and took advantage of this because it was a political weapon, but progressives do care. And so they used it. And it's your own fault. You see, I know Bill Maher doesn't care for the social justice wackos who screech, but those people, while I don't think they necessarily care a whole lot, they do use this stuff, and it is part of their weird ideology. If you had just said no to them, and I'm talking to the Democrats now, because Bill Maher basically did, this wouldn't have happened. But as I've often stated, whatever you think you're going to use, whatever power or weapon, it will be used against you. And now it is. All it takes is one woman. And that's the standard you wanted. I mean, look what happened to Aziz Ansari. He had a bad date and they tried to destroy his career. So yes, if one person decides they can say it, knowing there will be no repercussions, they can say it. Now, I'll tell you what. I don't really trust this Tara Reade story. She said, I guess there's a story going around where she's quoted as saying that she was traumatized by this. And it's like, you know what, man? I don't believe it. I really, really don't. You know, my personal opinion is I think he was harassing her because Joe Biden harasses women, for sure. We've seen it on camera. But I don't think he did what she's claiming now. And in the past, she didn't go this far. Although, ultimately, I guess there's not much I can say beyond that because the Democrats are now benefiting from a standard they asked for. Here's what he says. Maher questioned why Reade had decided to come forward only at this very moment and not earlier during the primary process, and also brought up her now-deleted blog post offering effusive praise to Russian autocrat Vladimir Putin. Full stop. Don't care about the Russia stuff. Drop it. Nice try. Bill, you have lost all credibility by going, Russia. Okay, Rachel, go back to MSNBC. And I can answer this question about why she didn't come forward sooner. There's a bunch of speculation. Perhaps it's because she was a Bernie supporter, and she's only coming out now because she knows it's going to hurt Joe Biden. But that doesn't make sense because that would make her a Trump supporter, right? If she was actually doing this to help Bernie Sanders, she would have come out a while ago. Now she's coming out when Bernie's already dropped out. That could only help Donald Trump. She's certainly not a Trump supporter. And this story was brought up by progressives. Perhaps the other reason is that it is now becoming more acceptable and she feels safe to do so. Hey, isn't that what all you guys were saying? That the Me Too movement was made possible now because society is accepting of women and willing to listen? Perhaps that's the reason. I don't know. I don't think she's a Trump supporter. I don't think she's a Putin supporter. Just drop it. She's a woman who came out, and now it's because you on the left, Bill, these are the standards that you guys use. So even though you don't like the fact that it's being used against you, meanwhile, Republicans just don't care about Trump, you got to talk to, I guess, look, okay, you know what? Bill is talking to the left. He's telling them straight up exactly what's happening. You know what? He's right. He's right. I'm not saying they should ignore it because that just makes them look like hypocrites. But it brings up a really great point. Perhaps, Bill, you should have spoken up a long time ago, and this wouldn't be happening to you right now. Here's what he says, quote, I don't know if you've noticed, but America has turned into a failed state that does a worse job keeping its citizen alive during a pandemic than Cambodia. No, it doesn't. Shut up. That's not true. And to me, that's a little more important than Tara Reade achieving closure. Right now in the U.S., we have tested more people than any other country. Per capita, we haven't. We're also a very large country. So we now know that a lot of people who have died from this. Yet because other countries who are poor don't do testing, you're pretending that less people have died of this? Oh, come on. You know what happens? These other countries like Cambodia just sweep it under the rug. They're not going to do the testing. And so because we have a higher standard, we are now being, they're pointing to us like we're doing wrong. Bill, just drop it. Try getting with the program and being honest and rational. But you know the problem with Bill Maher is he doesn't read the news. I'm willing to bet someone prepares all this for him. You know why? He got Covington wrong. Yeah, if you actually just read the news and look at the videos, you'd know you were spewing nonsense. But Bill doesn't care. I think he's too old. He's out of touch. He just trusts the media as it decays into irrelevance. Maher added that the election was too important to allow the Reade allegation to matter. Democrats are the party of choice. We can choose not to completely F ourselves over this. No, you can't. Because regular Americans and moderates are now asking the question, did you really mean it? Everything you threw at Trump and everything you threw at Kavanaugh, now's your chance to put up and prove you really meant it. Hey, it's an opportunity, man. We all know Biden can't win. The dude can barely speak straight. He couldn't even do a live stream the other day. This is your opportunity to get rid of the guy. But of course, it's also convenient for Bill Maher to come out and say this when he himself is being credibly accused by Rose McGowan. I'll tell you what, man. I believe Rose McGowan. I really do. I mean, it's not an outrageous story. Bill Maher whispering something crude and thinking he's funny or sly or whatever. And this was like, what, 20 some odd years ago? So he probably thought he could do it. Young, strapping TV show host, political comedian. And he said some nasty stuff to another young, television star. And now he looks bad for it. Do I care that Bill Maher said this? No, not at all. I think it's stupid and silly, and a lot of people have said dumb things. Just like Donald Trump with, Billy Bush saying women let you do, whatever. I don't care, man. I really, really don't. And therein lies the big problem. He says the Republicans don't care. Yeah, well, moderates don't care either, dude. All right, I'm tired of the lockdowns. We got to figure out what we're doing. I'm willing to sit around until everyone figures it out, but I am tired of it. We need to get back to work. We need to make sure the food's churning. Trump is doing what Trump is doing. And you know what I see? I see you complaining about Joe Biden and your own faction eating itself. And I see Donald Trump saying that we're going to do a major purchasing of dairy products to get food to the people. And he's doing, the Defense Production Act to keep the meat factories open. That sounds like something to me. This sounds like nothing. But I'll leave it there. Stick around. A couple more segments coming up in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.